I'm Karel Mořický. I'm senior designer in Bohemia Interactive, and I will guide you through Arma 3 and its latest features. So what we see here is Camp Maxwell is a central hub of our Gamescom presentation. It will be also featured in the campaign, and it serves as a sort of crossroad to all our showcases. Let me start with the latest addition to actually Arma 3, and wait, I have to. Actually underwater combat. Arma games before were always focused on military simulation, authenticity, and actually showing player how is it done in real, giving him some military feeling. It was always done in infantry combat. We offered helicopters, planes, tanks, all the scale which military or modern combat offers. In Arma 3, we added the new dimension to the environment. It's actually underwater combat. What we see now here is shoreline of island of Stratis. It's actually a Greek island. So you can see the environment is something, for example, you would want to go to a holiday, go scuba diving, except of the problem that there are a lot of Iranian patrols around.
And landmines.
Yes. What you see in front of me is SDV, Special Deployment Vehicle. So let me get inside. I'm actually now NATO specialist. So this small submarine, it's unarmed. I have an actual weapon, but this vehicle, well, I'm saying unarmed, but actually it can do a lot of damage, because when I switch inside, I see this new technology, picture-in-picture. It's rendering some texture, rendering some 3D scene on a texture. Some welcomed addition took from Take on Helicopters. And when I look here on this screen, it's actually periscope view. So if I go a bit higher, I can see above water. And when I now switch to commander's view, with the laser designator here, I could actually mark some targets, and my friendly bombers could arrive, throw bombs on the place I actually marked for them, and do some damage. And Iranians would have no idea what hit them, because I would be still hidden underwater. But yeah, let me return back underwater. Speaking about Iranians, let me summarize the story of Arma 3 a bit. The year is 2035, and what we know as NATO and European Union is basically totally different. It's in disarray, and meanwhile Iran is gaining some significance, supported by China and Russia, and it's trying to claim what it used to be theirs, to Europe. And it all goes to some major flashpoint in these islands at Aegean Sea. This is actually smaller of the islands. It's a Stratis. When I actually go to map, it's small, but when I say it's smaller, it's actually 8 by 8 kilometers. And the larger of the islands, which I'm afraid we are not showing here, is Limnos, and it's 30 by 30 kilometers. And of course, it's modeled first time not only on land, but actually underwater. Now I'm encountering Iranian patrol. They're guarding these ship mines. And they're guarding it so well that I actually got killed. So let me restart again, and we'll give it another try. You could have seen the environment around, all those fish around, they can be actually also killed. Like if you see something, if it moves, you can kill it. And if I would have actually 2D editor here, I could actually play as a fish. That's also important on this game, because it doesn't offer only opportunities for players, but it's also a strong developing platform. The game features inbuilt editor, and there are some external tools for creating add-ons, like vehicles, or weapons, or actually whole terrains. People like players may be familiar with Daisy, which after all I could call it just a mod, but it's a mod that thought through, that it's not only offers pretty much new game, but sort of new genre in the game industry. But let me move to Iranian patrol again with better cover. So Also, the AI we see here, it's not prescripted, it's actually artificial intelligence. They don't have any waypoints or something. They just have autonomous behavior. They spot me and they just engage me, and which is also important when we want to support some modding, because community designers must have these. Basically, they don't have access to AI behavior, so we must offer them some way how to tell AI how to be autonomous. I'm actually shooting with weapons specifically designed for underwater combat. It's not like I could take average Kalashnikov underwater and shoot with it. This is actually using supercavitating ammunition. Don't expect me to explain how precisely it works on the physical side. But it's important to know it's actually not sci-fi. It's based on an existing prototype, and it's also one of the things which we are really focusing on. Let me switch to another showcase. Yeah, the game is set 20 years in the future, but if you would expect lasers or plasma guns, you should go play Carrier Command instead, which is one of our other games. Arma 3 is more realistic, so all those weapons, vehicles, they are based on existing concepts or prototypes, sometimes combining several ones. For example, this vehicle Iranian, it's already in the production. But yeah, night showcase, what we see here. I'm actually playing as Iranian now, and we did a lot of improvement to how night looks like. For example, in previous games there were very tight limits on how many lights can be displayed in the scene. All those limits are now gone. We improved the visuals, and all of these things have also practical effect. For example, introduction of chemical lights means that if you don't have any night vision, you can throw them and light surrounding area. But of course, if you go nearby them, you're an easy target for the enemy. My weapon is equipped with flashlight. I can just go around and light the environment, again posing as an easy target for the enemy. But one new feature in Arma 3 is actually weapon customization. I can access the improved inventory, and the weapon now consists of all those attachments are separate entities. So for example, I see optics is separately, and the flashlight is also separately. I have my vest here, so I can take the flashlight back to the vest, equip the infrared laser pointer, and when I now enter night vision, you see I've got a laser pointer. It's actually not used as much for targeting as for squad cooperation. So if, for example, there would be more people in my squad, we would see each other's pointers, we could coordinate the attack, I could show my buddies where to look, what to shoot at. And speaking about shooting, there's been also some major improvements in muzzle flashes. You could think, okay, something as automatic as muzzle flashes, like all games has it. I shoot, it makes a sound, also quite improved sound compared to Arma 2, also something our dedicated players complained about. And also, it makes a light. You could see, and if I shoot, I would reveal my position to enemy instantly. It will be like, yeah, it's like screaming, I'm here. And that's very important that we introduce the weapon customization, because if I would have actually muzzle suppressor, not to be confused with silencer, which muffles the sound, the suppressor actually makes the sound the same, but the flashlight is gone. The muzzle flash is gone. So enemy could still hear me, but he wouldn't see me, so it would be more difficult to pinpoint my location, which is also important for night attacks. So every time we're doing some visual improvements, we're also trying to give them some meaning and also affect some gameplay. Because we're really not trying. Yeah, if we are doing something, we're trying to do it properly. We're trying not to fake things. Because in the long term, it's the only thing you can do. If you try to hack something, if you want to expand the feature, and later you would find that there are problems with it. Speaking about the actual real approach to all those features, let me introduce something which we didn't show yet, especially not on E3 presentation. It's actually using supports calling artillery strikes. Right now, I'm near Stratis airfield. It's a bright night. Actually, one interesting thing about those not to fake things approach is that all those stars, they are actually, it's a real sky. So we can see Big Dipper here. This, I believe, should be Northern Star. I think I'm right because it's precisely on north. Also. But yeah, that's not my. Yeah, we had actually some astronomer guy. He forgot. He was so impressed by this that he forgot about shooting and just looking at the sky, trying to find Perseus or his favorite stars.
It's also really easy for navigation. If you lose your compass.
But we had actually a few games ago. We had actually a mission where we were lost, and you had to really navigate by stars, which was really tricky. But yeah, I'm here above the airfield. It's heavily fortified by Iranian forces. You can see tanks, you can see anti-air guns. So I have no match to these guys. But HQ gave me some ability to call support. So for example, I can request the helicopter strike. So let me call Comanche attack helicopter. But what's more impressive at this moment is actually MLRS, the rocket artillery strike. Let me select it. Now I'm switched to guy who's actually a few kilometers away near that artillery, and we can now actually see the MLRS firing. And again, when I call the airstrike, it just doesn't create. It don't create some fake missiles over the target. Oh, helicopters are already engaging. So let me switch back. So all those missiles are traveling on the ballistic path all the way, or the ballistic curve. It's not fake, they are all the way there, and in a few seconds they should actually arrive. This is important to know because this feature, you cannot just use it that easily. You have to know that it takes some time before the rockets actually travels here, and if there will be moving targets, I would have to predict where it's going to be in those few seconds. So you can see enemy didn't knew what hit them. Meanwhile, the helicopter here should be still engaging enemies. It's actually completely procedural. Sometimes the helicopters is shut down immediately. Sometimes it destroyed all the resistance without any problems. So this is also important feature of Arma, that the tactical freedom, that people can approach the missions from many possible ways. It's also sort of nightmares for us developers because we have to make sure it works in all those situations. What I'm about to show you now is another improvement to Arma 3. It's actually physics simulations. People complained in Arma 2 that some vehicles didn't behave realistically and they were not interacting with the surroundings perfectly. So we implemented physics 3 simulation. Right now I'm in Iranian vehicle. Also some small improvement is that actually my hands are on the wheels and they are turning with the wheel. These small things which are overlooked for years and we are really trying to focus on now. We're really wanting not to have a buggy release and really have polished games. You can see parking camera and mirrors, actually, again the picture technology. But let me switch to the optics view, in the gunner seat. There's some Iranian patrol ahead of me. But thanks to terrible optics, there I can see them very easily and engage them. It's almost like cheating. This thermal imaging is a feature which was introduced already in Operation Arrowhead, the expansion for Arma 2. And again, it's not faked, it's done realistically. So for example, when I zoom out, I can see my engine is heated because I was driving for time. The gun barrel is also heated. And if I would be so patient and if I would wait for an hour or two, I could actually observe those dead bodies cooling up. But I believe we don't have that much time now. There's still some enemy engaging me. Oh, he's trying to bypass me, but of course he's no match to me. You can see the ragdoll animation, also one of the newest addition to Arma 3, that all the enemies now, when dying, plays the ragdoll animation, which should again improves the immersion. And now actually he started to fleeing. Here, without any scripted stuff, he realized he's no match to me, so he's just trying to run away. let me show you also one of the new features. It's sort of smaller stuff, but it's very important, especially for our campaign. We would want to have a more guerrilla-based campaign, where player would have to, between missions, really loot enemies, get the best equipment, plan his next progress. Which weapon customization is already important too, but one other significant features or requirements for guerrilla combat is this unbalanced combat, and I think landmines, or especially anti-infantry mines, are best example for this. I'm now actually a weapons specialist, Iranian weapons specialist again, and I now identified mine. You can see the triangle. The thing is, if I wouldn't be weapons specialist, I wouldn't find it that easily, or I would recognize it only when it would be too late. And of course, on the higher difficulties, there would be no user identification whatsoever. What see here is actually a tripwire mine. If I would cross this wire, I would be blown to pieces. But since I'm weapon specialist, I can actually deactivate the mine, take it, and for example, then use it later. There's actually one more nastier mine. You can barely see it here. It's actually a bounding mine. If I step on it, it won't just explode. No, that would be too easy. Let me trigger it by shooting at it. It will probably still damage me. You saw it jumped up, that's why it's a bounding mine. So instead of exploding immediately, it goes up and covers more the larger area. You really don't want to encounter it, basically because it would be, it would be the last thing you would do. Let me now switch back to hub.
Will the AI also place down mines to formulate an ambush, like even unscripted, or do you really have to tell them, okay, I want to place mines here?
They're not doing it automatically, but any mission designer can tell them how to do it by some very simple commands. But yeah, AI are not doing it, because sometimes it could actually break the mission, so it would be difficult both for a player and designer. We are back to this hub. It's Camp Maxwell. When I was telling that player will be playing sort of guerrilla-style campaign, this will be base. He will return between every mission. We'll have to regroup, find out what casualties were, get better weapons, and I hope there will be actually some reinforcements coming. Speaking about reinforcements, let me show actually what we can expect. This is ORBAT, Order of Battle. In our game, we want to present 7th Infantry Division, and this is basically structure of it. Player is actually located down here in his fire team, part of the squad and platoon. These all forces, it's basically several thousand people or soldiers, so they all want to be featured in there at once. But of course, he will know the bigger picture. We want to sort of hint him what's happening around him to experience this military story. If I'm not mistaken, you're Dutch TV.
It's true. Yeah.
So let me actually show you something. One of our mission design lead, he's Dutch, Joris Jan van Land, and he created this firing drills. It's also one thing completely new as opposed from Arma 3. And of course, being Dutch, he added some small Easter eggs, like of course mandatory orange firing drill. They are all colored. And it's actually one of the best ones. It's also a perfect way to experience the new weapons and how they behave. Actually, let me take some different weapon. For example, SFG. So also this is a gun we didn't show before. It's fully customizable, so I can take the optics out for increased challenge. And now I will be using only iron sights. So we are entering the orange firing drill. It's So basically, go to shooting range, shoot some targets in the distance, and hope to beat the best time. It may be quite a challenge because I removed the sights. So let's go. Somebody had actually quite a good time here, so I think I won't have any chance to beating it. Oh, And you
Oh,
see,
no ammo.
I didn't take ammo. You can see that it's very important to plan your progress in Arma 3. So let me rearm. It's important to know that while it's still future, many weapons are still using standardized NATO magazines. So, for example, some magazines can fit multiple weapons. So learning what caliber or what actually magazine you can use is really important. Shooting is also realistic. All bullets travel on ballistic curve, so targets in the distance actually I have to shoot a bit above them, or actually have scopes which can be zeroed. Let me continue to next range. If I turn volume a bit up. We did some major improvements to sounds because we sort of stopped. We didn't like that upon release of Arma 2, some community people were actually creating sound mods to give the game better sounds. So we thought, why should they create the sound mods? Why not to provide the better sounds already in the game? So we're really focusing on improving the sounds, and not only the sounds themselves, but also technology behind them, to make sure that the sounds are, for example, just the shooting sounds. It's not just one sound file. It composes of the shot. There can be some sounds of the actually bullets coming out of the barrel, then being dropped on the ground. What we can see here now is custom reloading animation. Again, major improvement as opposed to Arma 2, where pretty much all weapons had some generic reloading animations. You could see I was running, so my hands were a bit shaky. So there's this improved weapons way. Oh, and I didn't beat the best time. I believe this is actually Joris's time, so I cannot beat a Dutchie. It's just simply impossible. Not at his.
It takes a Dutchman to beat a Dutchman.
Yes. So yeah, if you want to try, then later.
Sure.
Yes. So yeah, let me return back, and I believe that would be all of our presentation.
Okay, thank you very much.